1972. A year that would be remembered for its profound impact on history, a year that stood at the crossroads of change and continuity. It was a year that began with the echo of gunfire as the Vietnam War raged on, leaving scars on the landscape and in the hearts of those who fought, and ended with a sigh of relief as whispers of peace began to emerge, bringing hope to a weary world. The Vietnam War, a conflict that had divided a nation and defined a generation, continued to cast a long shadow. Protests erupted across the United States with citizens demanding an end to the bloodshed. Yet amidst the turmoil, there was a sense of change in the air. Social movements gained momentum and people began to envision a different future. The world watched as superpowers shuffled their pieces on the global chessboard. The Cold War, with its constant tension and brinkmanship, saw moments of both confrontation and conciliation. Nixon's visit to China, a seismic shift in Cold War politics, offered a glimmer of hope for détente. This historic trip opened new avenues for diplomacy and reshaped international relations. Meanwhile, in Munich, the specter of terrorism reared its ugly head, casting a pall over the Olympic Games. The tragic events left an indelible mark on the global consciousness. But 1972 wasn't just about politics and global conflict. It was a year of cultural ferment, technological innovation, and social progress. The arts flourished, and new technologies began to change the way people lived and worked. It was a year of cultural ferment, technological innovation, and social progress. From groundbreaking scientific discoveries to the rise of new cultural icons, the world was in a state of dynamic transformation. Let's take a closer look at the events that made 1972 a pivotal year in history. Join us as we delve into the moments that shaped our world. Richard Nixon, a staunch anti-communist, journeyed to the People's Republic of China. The visit was unimaginable just a few years prior. Nixon met with Chairman Mao Zedong. The two leaders, ideological opposites, found common ground in their shared desire to reshape the global order. The Shanghai Communique, a joint statement issued at the end of Nixon's visit, acknowledged the two countries' differences but pledged to work towards a more peaceful future. This journey for peace, as Nixon called it, marked the beginning of a thaw in Sino-American relations with implications that continue to this day. Unbeknownst to the public, a storm was brewing. What began as a seemingly minor break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters in the Watergate complex would soon spiral into a major political scandal. The burglars, it turned out, were connected to Nixon's re-election campaign. As journalists dug deeper, they uncovered a web of lies, cover-ups, and abuses of power that reached the highest levels of government. The Watergate scandal, as it came to be known, shook the American public's trust in their elected officials. It would ultimately lead to Nixon's resignation in disgrace in 1974, a stark reminder that no one, not even the president, is above the law. 1972 was a banner year for music. The Godfather, Francis Ford Coppola's sprawling crime epic, captivated audiences with its haunting score by Nino Rota. Marvin Gaye's What's Going On, a poignant meditation on social injustice and war, became an anthem for a generation yearning for peace and understanding. David Bowie, the androgynous starman, released The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, a glam rock opera that challenged conventional notions of gender and identity. These albums, each groundbreaking in its own right, reflected the anxieties and aspirations of a world on the cusp of change. They also cemented 1972's place as a pivotal year in musical history. Section 5: Silicon starts to shine. In the world of technology, 1972 witnessed the birth of the microprocessor. Developed by Intel, the 8008, as it was known, was a marvel of miniaturization, packing the power of thousands of transistors onto a single chip. This tiny invention would revolutionize computing, paving the way for the personal computer revolution of the 1980s and the digital age we live in today. Though few realized it at the time, the microprocessor would change the world forever. Section 6: A woman's place is in the House and the Senate. The women's rights movement, which had gained momentum throughout the 1960s, continued to make strides in 1972. Congress passed the Title IX Amendment, prohibiting sex-based discrimination in any school or other educational program that receives federal funding. This landmark legislation opened doors for girls and women in athletics and academics. It helped level the playing field, ensuring that everyone, regardless of gender, had an equal opportunity to succeed. Section 7. The Games Must Go On. The 1972 Summer Olympics were held in Munich, Germany. The Games were meant to showcase a new, vibrant Germany, 27 years after the end of World War II. However, tragedy struck when Palestinian terrorists attacked the Olympic Village, taking Israeli athletes hostage. The world watched in horror as the crisis unfolded. In the end, 11 Israeli athletes and coaches, along with a German police officer, were killed. The Munich massacre, as it became known, cast a long shadow over the Games, reminding the world that even in the spirit of international competition, violence and hatred could rear their ugly heads. Section 8. Beyond the Headlines. While these major events dominated the headlines, 1972 also witnessed a number of other notable developments. These stories, though not always front-page news, played a significant role in shaping the cultural and technological landscape of the time. They offer a glimpse into the everyday lives and concerns of people living in that era, providing a richer, more nuanced understanding of history. Atari released Pong, the first commercially successful video game, sparking a revolution in home entertainment. This simple yet addictive game laid the foundation for the multi-billion-dollar video game industry we know today. It wasn't just a game, it was a cultural phenomenon that brought people together, young and old, in arcades and living rooms across the country. The pocket calculator, a technological marvel at the time, became a ubiquitous tool for students and professionals alike. Before its invention, complex calculations were time-consuming and prone to error. The pocket calculator revolutionized education and business, making mathematical computations faster and more accurate. It symbolized the beginning of the digital age where technology started to become an integral part of daily life. And in a landmark legal case, the U.S. Supreme Court, in Furman v. Georgia, effectively struck down the death penalty, ruling that its arbitrary and inconsistent application violated the Eighth Amendment's ban on cruel and unusual punishment. This decision sparked a nationwide debate on the ethics and effectiveness of capital punishment, leading to significant legal and social reforms. It was a pivotal moment in the ongoing struggle for human rights and justice in America. These seemingly smaller stories, when viewed through the lens of history, reveal the richness and complexity of a year that continues to resonate today. They remind us that history is not just a series of isolated events, but a tapestry of interconnected moments that shape our present and future. By looking beyond the headlines, we gain a deeper appreciation for the diverse and dynamic forces that have shaped our world. Section 9. Echoes of 72. 1972 was a year of contradictions, a time of both great promise and profound upheaval. It was a year that saw the world grappling with immense challenges, and yet, it was also a time of significant achievements and breakthroughs. From the streets filled with protesters demanding change to the celebrations of newfound freedoms, the year was a tapestry of human emotions and actions. It was a year that saw the world teetering on the brink of disaster, yet somehow managing to pull back from the edge. The Cold War was at its peak, with tensions between superpowers threatening global peace. However, amidst the looming threat of conflict, there were also moments of diplomacy and peace talks that offered a glimmer of hope. 53 years later, the echoes of 1972 can still be felt. The events of that year have left an indelible mark on our collective consciousness. The struggles and triumphs of that time continue to resonate, influencing the way we navigate our present and future. The events of that tumultuous year continue to shape our world in countless ways, reminding us of the enduring power of politics, culture, and the human spirit. The cultural revolutions, political rallies, and human rights movements of 1972 have paved the way for many of the freedoms and rights we enjoy today. They serve as a testament to the resilience and determination of people who dared to dream of a better world. As we navigate the challenges of the 21st century, the lessons of 1972 serve as both a cautionary tale and a source of inspiration. The parallels between the struggles of the past and the issues we face today are striking. By reflecting on the past, we can find guidance and hope for overcoming the obstacles that lie ahead. It was a year that reminded us that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope for a better tomorrow. The inspirational moments of 1972, where people found hope and strength amidst adversity, continue to inspire us today. They remind us that no matter how challenging the times may be, the human spirit is capable of enduring and overcoming.